Hi friends! Today it's all about specific tips for delivering an online instructor-led training. You might already have experience in delivering classroom training. You might as well know you cannot train online as you would do in a classroom environment. And that's why we're about to see 11 tips on how to facilitate an online training the best way. Let's begin now with the first tip. First tip is get everyone on webcam. It's very important to make sure attendants see each other during discussions, but there is another reason. When the webcam is on, we get more focused as attendee or as presenter, just because others see us. You can't look away on your smartphone anymore with camera on. You can't also leave without being unnoticed. For a presenter as well, it's definitely not the same feeling when you are talking to an audience with camera switched off. On MS Teams, there is the together mode to have everyone with the webcam on displayed on the same view together, which is somehow interesting in order to look at the reactions of everyone during discussions. Second tip now, make sure everyone participates. When training online, you lose spatial reference and also direct eye contact. This means that the attendants that prefer to step back from the discussions and stay silent will be more easily forgotten. Because of this, it's important that you make sure everybody participates in a risk-free environment, maybe using other ways to trigger interactions than generic questions to the whole group. Discussions in smaller groups that are less formal are also more suitable for shy audiences. Don't hesitate as well to ask open questions to specific people and encourage delegates to help each other. Going on with the third tip, use a learner participation and interest log. Last month, I was part of a training in which the trainer kept track of the interest that we, the participants, manifested, as well as ticking down when an attendant was participating. That way, he could invite the delegates that participated the less to share their opinions and thoughts when he was dealing with the topics that interested them the most. That's a very clever technique that I'm now also using too. Fourth tip, start and finish on time. Now, in the corporate world, more and more, we get meetings over meetings without any rest, and as soon as we get a single-minute delay in one meeting, we are late for the next one. It's getting worse with working from home, actually, as you are not expected to change meeting rooms and get even less time in between meetings. That's why it's very important to start and finish on time. If you don't end up your training on time, people from your audience will jump off anyway, and this will disturb the end of the training. One thing you could try is scheduling the event 5 minutes after a round hour, like 5 past 10 a.m., and finish it 5 minutes before, like 5 to 11 a.m. 5 minutes is the perfect time for attendees to stand up and walk a bit, go grab a coffee, go to the restroom, or look at their calendar. They might not be able to do everything in this list, but at least they tackle the most urgent for them. Let's continue with the fifth tip, checking the audience understanding with emoticons. If you ask, "Have you understood this topic?" to your audience, most of the attendees will not answer you, which makes the question quite useless. Instead, you could ask people to select an emoticon. For instance, they could use the hand clap or a specific smiley to signify they have understood. You can then target the people who didn't use the emoticon to understand what they lack. That's way more effective for shy delegates. Next tip, look towards the webcam. If you look at your webcam, the delegates will feel as if you were looking at them in the eyes. Doing that, you establish a connection that is closer to what an in-person event would produce. If you look at your presentations or at their webcam, they will feel as if you were not looking at them. It seems that you are looking down, which is not natural during a discussion. Michael Aguilar, a quite famous keynote speaker, gave once a good tip during a webinar, which is to paste around your webcam an eye with a hole in the middle where the eye pupil is for the camera lens. This will remind you when you are live that it's where you have to look at and force you to look at the webcam. Tip number 7. Check what participants are seeing. You can maybe log in as a guest on another device before the meeting begins to check how participants see different media you're sharing, especially if you're using presenter configurations on MS Teams or alternate between several cameras. You can also ask a partner to give you feedback. As well, be careful about what you display, especially when you get distracted. One example that happens all the time. Don't switch to your email inbox during a break without being sure your audience cannot see it. Let's move on with tip number 8. Don't get stuck with technical issues. You have to care for the user experience first, and as an attendee there is nothing worse than waiting several minutes in front of a computer while the trainer tries to do something. Would be finding back a file lost on his computer or the right way to perform a task on the software. If you get stuck at some point, move on in the most natural way. Don't blame your colleagues, don't blame the technology all the time. The real problem is you lacked of preparation or rehearsal. Once, in a virtual training I was delivering via MS Teams, my computer restarted suddenly. And it was entirely my fault. I postponed the restart for several days and now my computer chose the worst time to reboot. What I did is switch to the phone app during the time of the restart to continue training and came back to my computer 10 minutes after, once all the software upgrades were done. Most delegates told me at the end of this 1-hour session they almost forgot that I had to switch to the phone app because it felt flawless for them. While it was a challenging moment for me, that definitely taught me a lesson. Tip number 9. Be nice and smile. Your facial expression is very important when training online. Your upper body is in the end the only thing that people see about you, so put as much effort as possible in appearing smiling and confident. As well, too many people have a bad opinion about online learning environments, as they think there is not enough interaction and it's more boring than face-to-face events. Well, prove them wrong from the beginning. Engage in small informal talks before the session even begins to make sure people who join the training don't join in a quiet and intimidating space, but a lively and welcoming one with people already chatting together. 10th tip, use a headset and encourage your participants to do the same. In her LinkedIn courses, Ash Blodgett explains that sound quality is way more important than video quality for the perception of the audience, and that's perfectly true. Using a headset will ensure you have a good audio quality with almost no background sound captured and no echo. And that's why it's way better for you and for your delegates too that everyone uses a headset. There is some people, however, that don't like how they look with a headset on. If you are in this category, use phone earplugs if you prefer, but please don't use the computer mic. 11th tip, multiply ways to receive attendee input. Quiz, polls, games, etc. You have to provide delegates with the opportunity to express their opinions, their thoughts, and formulate their questions. That's how the training gets tailored to their very needs. If delegates were not interacting at all or providing you with any input, you could as well record the session once and send them the recording. The most effective way is to be as diversified as possible when you are gathering their input. Use quizzes, polls, games, whiteboards, maybe a dashboard where they can all write and draw together. Use everything you have, but without overloading your screen. Having multiple applications open will slow you down when switching between different content. Alright, that was it for the 11 tips on how to deliver an online training. Remember to keep the needs of your clients in mind during your performance. Vary your pace and vary also the delivery format. Make it interactive with polls, quiz, discussions, and you will be all good. See you next time for more training tips.